Welcome back to the Colts Cast. He is Jamal Lawrence. I am Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast. Jamal, doesn't winning feel so good?
It does. It does.
Makes
It's a great feeling.
It makes you make these kind of episodes, right?
Yeah, just when you get bored, you're like, "Oh, let's talk about the Colts winning."
Let's talk about the Colts winning. Let's talk about Chris Ballard as well, because besides Jacoby Brissett, I would say Chris Ballard is on your top 3 enemy list. And I just really want to see I just really want to see if this changed,
Jacoby.
Jacoby.
Yeah, let's see.
Like I said, winning does feel so good. The Indianapolis Colts, they hold the best record in the NFL going into week 7 with a 5-1 record. And if the playoffs were to happen today, the Colts would be sitting with a first-round bye. Who would have predicted that? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Who actually predicted that? Let us know in the comments below if you knew this was going to happen.
If you did, I hope you got some receipts, because I don't believe it.
I was about to say, and come on down to South Carolina. I need some lottery tickets. You pick out the winning numbers. We'll share it. But, I'll do something. We'll get you on the pod or something. But, look, like I said, 5-1 record, first round bye. That really sounds good, Jamal. You have to give it to Chris Ballard, right? You have to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Eric clearly wants me to start this off. Let's go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you think about Eric's initial introduction. He said you have to give the Chris Ballard after this 5-1 start.
He turned that hot seat into a massage seat. Like, he got the sweetest massage.
Yeah.
He got everything. He got deep tissue. Like, he is Gucci right now, right? 5-1. Now he has to finish the job, like Kobe said. Job's not finished.
That's right.
But
it's not finished. I mean, it must be nice to come to your senses when your back is so far against the wall you literally can't even breathe, because someone is crushing you, telling you better bring down the hammer. When someone tells you, and by someone I mean the owner tells you you're about to make the most expensive decision of your life, essentially at the beginning of the season. Yeah. I bet you do. I bet you do pucker up a little bit and figure out a way to get the ship to start sailing in the correct direction.
So has he finally crafted a Super Bowl contending team? A playoff contending team, either one.
A playoff contending team.
Super Bowl. You don't see this team in the Super Bowl the way it's playing right now. Best record in the NFL.
Obviously, if the Super Bowl was today, then yes. We are 1/3 of the way through the season. A lot can happen throughout the rest of the season. I think it's pretty clear. We just watched the Chiefs demolish the Lions, and then we just watched the Falcons demolish the Bills.
Man, demolish, man. Come on, bro.
So my point is this. You always say this, any given Sunday. Now, while I do think this is a playoff caliber team at this point, yes, I just don't think that we still we have a couple holes that we have to get fixed before this team can really turn into what I would consider a Super Bowl contending team. And I think the biggest one is obviously, the cornerback room. We talked about this last episode, and I think we'll continue to talk about it for the foreseeable future. This cornerback room is still barbecue chicken right now, as far as I see it, because of injuries. We can't really do much about that. I think that's going to be Chris Ballard's kryptonite when it comes to this team. And I hope that when it matters the most, this cornerback room can really stand up and shine, because it's gonna be that's gonna be one of the issues. And I'll tell you the next one here in a minute, but I don't know if you want to add anything to the cornerback situation before.
A lot of injuries just throughout that the Colts have been dealing with. It seems like it's a recurring issue for almost every single team in the NFL. I would love to see our cornerback room at full strength. I mean, even Traveris Ward out there, like, how much would he have impacted the game against the Cardinals? Like, we don't really know, but I would say, and I guess we'll get into it, more when we talk about Chris Ballard's recent success, if we want to call it that. But, Bynum and Ward, those were his pickups.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk about it. I mean, like, I don't know what you were about to get into, Jamal, but like, does he deserve, credit for the recent success in Indy?
Does Chris Ballard?
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, I mean, he's a general manager. He finally decided to spend money. So, I mean, yeah, you have to give some credit. I mean, you have to give some credit. Again, but like, I think that people, and this is, and you can call it bias, you can call it whatever you want. I personally don't care, because I'm sure everybody who listens to this pods know how I feel about Chris Ballard. I've been feeling the same way since we started this thing a couple of years ago. While Ballard has finally decided to, again, wake up and maybe so much not feel himself as much as he's had in the past. I shouldn't even say that because I can't imagine what he's going to say come January. My man is going to be stroking himself from left to right, up, down, bringing around town. Don't matter. But I think that Chris Ballard finally, again, he had to wake up. He had to spend some money. He had to make some moves. And I think that the addition of Ward and Bynum, pending, of course, Ward's injury, concussion, it has worked out in his favor. And that's a great thing. I think that's the most important. Obviously, the Danny Dimes experiment has been monumental for this team right now, because if we were to turn the tables and let's say Richardson was starting right now, and then what he had happened this past week would have been what it was, then if we would have been 5-1, then we'd have been in shambles saying, well, Richardson's going to be out for the foreseeable future on IR. Now we got to have a backup quarterback come in and play, and so on and so forth. So luckily we're not in that position. But so I am giving Ballard credit when it comes to Ward and Bynum, as well as, figuring out to bring Jones in here and pay him, a lowball amount of money for what it's worth to come in at that backup spot and take over this team. So yeah, I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is playing very well so far. I mean, he's number 1 in QBR off ESPN stats, 7th in total passing yards, 71.7% completion percentage. Anthony Richardson's, just for reference, last year was 47.7. I mean, that is a dramatic difference, and that wins you games if you can complete passes instead of incompleting them at less than 25% clip. The Colts are they're number 1 in the NFL in points per game, points per play. I mean, this offense is humming. I mean, they're scoring almost the most touchdowns of any team in the NFL. It's hard. I mean, I guess we can't give everything to Chris Ballard, but it's hard to be mad at him at this point. I think our feelings have changed from 6 months ago, right? Or yours still get him out of town.
I mean, my feelings, it's one of those situations where I'm thinking of long term. I know a lot of people are thinking in the short term right now. It's like, well, let's look at the short term success we're having this year. We're having it right now. And why on earth wouldn't we extend him for another 4 or 5 years, let him do his thing? I like to think back to the past 8 years of what's going on. You can't just forgive and forget that easily. Because you're a liar. You just tell. Well, and I think the other thing too, I'm going to try not to ramble and go like down a rabbit hole in this, but so many people never wanted Ballard gone, even leading up to this year. While they may have tiptoed and said, "Oh, Ballard should be gone," whatever. It was all false. Like they never truly felt like that. And those plenty of people in the comments, other content creators. I mean, everybody they've said they were calling for Ballard's head this year. Especially leading up to the whole Jones starting thing, whatever the case is. And I'm sure those people have all turned heel and went back to their normal side now, which is fine. I don't care. But again, like I said, I'm thinking about this from the longevity standpoint of what's going on in the past 8 years. While I am glad that Ballard has finally stepped up and started doing his job, I cannot just say, okay, I appreciate you finally doing your job when you're on your last reprimand, you're on your last write-up, you're on your last no call, no show. You can show up now and start to do your job properly. And then people can say, you know what, man, I knew you had it in you all along, buddy. Let's go ahead and get the ball and let's make it longer. I'm just not on board for that yet.
We potting today?
Hey, I mean,
oh yeah.
Listen.
All it takes is Chris Ballard to get you fired up, baby.
Yeah. And listen, and it's fair. People will come into the comments and it's fine. Like I want people to express their feelings, because the same way I have the ability to say it over the microphone and people can hear it, I expect people to say something in the comments as well. Tell me that you disagree with me. Tell me that if you do agree with me, whatever the case is. I just like to think that the reality of the situation is people are riding such a high right now from this team's success, because like we talked about, we could be hitting that Cam Ward where we say, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, we ass. And we could be having that conversation because if the Colts, if this is turned around and we're 1-5 right now, people would have their pitchchforks out.
Yeah.
Everyone would be calling. But then yeah, exactly. What's the worst that can happen? Throw Riley Leonard in. What's the worst that can happen? But of course, when the tables are turned, we're going to see it for what it's worth right now. And people are going to get super hyped up and they're going to think that Ballard has now, because it's only a matter of time before you do this. And Ballard does not, inevitably, he's going to go back to his old ways. Clearly, that's been his way since the beginning of time. So you make a 1 year change, you get everybody back on your side, and you go back to your old ways. Because
you don't think this is sustainable?
No, I think our success could potentially be sustainable, but it's going to be a matter of still getting a little piece of the puzzle because, and it's hard too, because I think about everybody who said last year they wanted Steichen gone too, because they said, well, clearly Steichen isn't this whisperer. He isn't this. He's a bad play caller. He's, all these things. Now he has Daniel Jones in here and the team is scoring, 35 points a game.
Got the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. And now people are like, "Oh, Steichen's a great head coach." Well, duh, he should have never been gone from the beginning. Like he did not control the destiny of all this, of everything that was going on. So it's again, so often people just live in like the now of what's going on at this very moment in life, and you're not thinking about the before, the middle, and the after. You're just thinking about what this immediate moment, what's going on right now. Here's what I expect. And then once something happens in the future, disappointment sets in, and you don't realize you turn a blind eye to it the entire time it was in front of your face. Like it was never not there. But
well, I mean, so I think we talked about this before, but like AR is not who we thought he was going to be.
Sure.
Who do you put the blame on at that point? Is it the GM? Is it the coach, the head coach, the offensive coordinator? Is it AR himself? Is it a little bit of a mix in the pot? I don't know, but yeah, Shane Steichen gets to come in to Indy and gets to pick out his quarterback of the future. I'm sure he had to say in the Anthony Richardson selection. I saw him get up and clap his hands. They were hype as hell when they drafted AR, and I'm sure a lot of us was too. But that, and the other thing about Steichen was the transparency, the lack of transparency surrounding AR's injuries, AR, the QB1 stuff like that. I don't know it, and then he pissed me off. Just he'd say those same damn things every presser. But
yeah, we're gonna keep it in house.
I don't think we ever said like he's the worst play caller, like he's a bad offensive coach. I think we might have said he might not be made for this head coach life. But that seems to have changed, and it seemed to be one of the main pieces, one of the main gears that turned that thing was a competent quarterback. And going back to Chris Ballard, like you said, Jamal, I mean, the Indianapolis Colts, people forget they've been quite mediocre for about a decade now, and now all of a sudden we're riding it hot, like 5-1, best record in the NFL. Things are changing. Fans are happy. And it's just something that I feel like we haven't felt this type of energy for a long time now, since like the Andrew Luck days. And I really thought we were heading for that same spiral again. Mediocrity. This ain't looking good. But yeah, that's kind of changed. Chris Ballard, he's always had an eye for talent. I mean, you go down his draft pick list, he's drafted some good guys. I mean, he's had some bad draft picks, but everybody's not 100%. You think about Quinn Nelson, you think about Shaq Leonard, you think about Jonathan Taylor, Braden Smith, Will Fry. I mean, he's drafted some guys, and they turned out and they've panned out to be NFL starters or NFL starters plus. So then you add in the fact he spent some money in free agency, and everything's starting to click together. I don't know. You just had, I think at this point, you just got to win the AFC South or he's bye-bye again. Like, I think that's kind of where we're at. Like, need an AFC South title and probably a little bit more, but I think it starts there, and we'll see what the performance looks like in the playoffs and things like that. But it would be hard to fire your GM after winning the AFC South after so long.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, it was all part of the 10-year plan. I mean, it was all part of that plan. Just give me a decade and I'll figure it out. But no, you're right. You're right. The reality of the situation is this: it will take something so like heinous for him to get fired after the end of the season, that the girls just feel like, this ain't it. So I mean, the reality of it is, unless this team just tanks it out for the rest of this season, the trajectory that this team is going, Ballard's here for the foreseeable future, and it is what it is. I mean, again, I just hope that if he is here for the foreseeable future, that he continues to have the same mentality he had going into this offseason, where everyone's expendable. You don't use other coaches and players as your scapegoats every single week. And then come out at the end of the year and say, hey, you know what, guys, it was me. You know what I mean? Like, just bring me the same style energy that you have this year, every single year moving forward, because I know that every year is not going to be successful. You're not going to have a 3-loss season every single season. However, you clearly see what happens this year when you open up your pockets a little bit. You start to be more strategic about the moves you make, from the people you bring in and the culture around the building and all this other stuff, to where now all of a sudden, guess what? You don't always have to pay. You don't always have to pay your own guys. You can go out and fish. You can go out and check out. You can check out the portal. A perfect example, in my opinion, is look at Clemson. Look at Clemson right now. Dabo is so gung ho about staying in the house, staying in the house. I don't mess with
like our guys.
I don't do this. I don't do that. We like our guys. And look at them, dog water. Chris Ballard for the past 9 years has said we like our guys. We're staying in the house. We're not going out. We're not doing this. We're not dog water. My man went out fishing. He checked out the portal. He said, what's that? What that look like over there?
Playoffs.
And
Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding
I'm
me?
just trying to win 6 games.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I have to throw 6 in there since we're about to go. That's 6-1. But no, in all seriousness, though, that's what it boils down to. Ballard, I need him to continue to do what he's done this year, because obviously, like I said, unless this season just automatically just goes downhill, he's not going anywhere. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not calling for Ballard's head. I just want consistency across the board. I don't want to see him go back into this. My head's too big for everybody else. I'm the most badass person in the room. No one else's opinions matter besides mine. And then we get back to square one to where we were for the past 8 years of purgatory, where this team literally couldn't. I mean, like we talked about this. And the last point I want to bring to that, Eric, real quick too. Another reason why I think that this team still isn't quite the Super Bowl contenders yet is because I look at our D line. We are spending so much money on this defensive line. So much money, so much talent on this defensive line, yet we are dead last in sacks. And I know that sacks are not the end all be all, but dead last in sacks in the NFL right now at 5-4 on the year. I think about the money that's I think D Buck is supposed to be getting like 26, 27 mil next year. That's a ton of money right there. It's already going to be off the table next year. We think about these players. Quiddy's going into a potential. He could potentially be getting re-signed with us. That's a ton of money. Like, there's so much money going into this D line. We had Ashton Doolin pass rushing last week, bro. Like, Ashton Doolin was out there. Like, that's a problem.
It's funny that our D line isn't, as successful as we want it to be. The pass rush isn't as successful as we want it to be. Yet we're limiting teams to like 19 points per game, which is like top 5 in the NFL. It's crazy when you really dig into these stats. But no, you're right, Jamal. I can't really add anything to that. Let you do your thing and fire off. But
The biggest thing is this. Do I think that we've crafted a Super Bowl contender right now? No. Do I think that we've crafted an AFC championship or an AFC South championship squad? Yes. Do I think that Ballard has the potential to continue this on for the foreseeable future? Yes. But the season's still early.
I hear you, man. It is still early. We're not even halfway through. So we'll see. If you've gotten this far, like we always say, let us know what you think after that episode, that pod, in the comments. If you're on YouTube or, if you're on Spotify, I know you can leave comments there as well. But definitely if you're on YouTube, that's all I got, Jamal.
That's it, man. Great day. Great day.
Thank you for listening to the Coltscast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take it easy.